Welcome back to YellowCard Vanguard. I'm your host, Toku from It's Toku TV on Twitch. Throughout the week, I'm streaming Vanguard on my Twitch channel. We'll be building decks, playtesting, and just having a grand old time, so be sure to swing on by. With new clan collection reveals coming out every day, you know what that means. It's time for a new chapter of clan collection cores. I want to preface this video and the entirety of the series by saying that many of these lists are entirely conceptual and surface deep, and will need your own playtesting to fine-tune. But each of these will aim to provide a way of thinking on how to take your new support in Clan Collection 3 and 4 and put it into a working deck. They won't all be optimized, but I believe they will be a good baseline to build off of. Welcome to Clan Collection Cores. Today, we mourn for our undead Skelly Boy, for he has died twice over. Cocytus Reverse enters the fray of V Premium, having to compete with the likes of Night Rose and Beatrice. And he just can't. What he does bring to the table, however, that neither Beatrice and Ghosties nor Night Rose Good Stuffs doesn't, is a very Vanguard-centric effect. Now, it's not good. I never said it was good. The cost is heavy, the requirement is heavy, the restriction is heavy. Of the 4 horsemen of the V Apocalypse, Cocytus Reverse has 2 of them. Let's take a deep dive into the depths of what kind of abyss Cocytus Reverse came from. In the drop zone, at the end of the battle that your Cocytus named Vanguard attacked a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, if that was the first battle of the turn, you can counterboss 1 and discard 4 cards, and then lock all of your rear guards. Then, if you have 5 locked cards, ride this as stand, then for every grade 3 in Soul, you can unlock 1 of your rear guards and Cocytus Reverse will gain 10k. On the Vanguard Circle, when Cocytus Reverse is attacked, you can retire 3 rear guards, and for that battle, for every 10 cards in your drop zone, Cocytus Reverse gains 10k. So, what have they done to you, my child? Let's point out the huge flaws. Discard 4. Holy shit! Yes, you do gain a protect marker back when you re-ride, yes. He didn't have to be in hand and re-ride. And yes, you do get 2 more twin drives. But discard 4 is a really hefty cost. Lock all of your rear guards, and if you have 5 locked cards. This is basically asking us to always have a full board to lock if we want to resolve the Cocytus Reverse re-ride. This kind of restriction, combined with the discard 4, warps our deck building to be able to reliably meet the first battle of the turn only. With Cocytus Reverse being a rewrite, any crit triggers you get are wasted if you want to resolve it, since it doesn't follow through to the new Vanguard unit, and locking all of your rear guards then cleanses them of any trigger effects. So with the flaws out of the way, let's look into the positives. So with the positives out of the way, let's head into the deck list. So what is the win con of the deck? Multi-attack Vanguard. Resolving Cocytus Reverse actually feels like losing, but we're already in this deep, so let's fully commit to it. I suppose that in contrary to Beatrice and Night Rose, which is a 1 Vanguard attack and 5 rearguard swings, Cocytus Reverse is 2 Vanguard swings and hopefully 2 rearguard swings, so in either case, let's play towards that. Now, normally, I would say to run 4 of each Cocytus, but since Cocytus Reverse works in the drop zone and Granblue is not shy of any selective mill, I think 2 copies is more than enough. It gives us 2 more slots to have actually good cards. We can always Soul Blast Cocytus Reverse with Beatrice to get it into drop as well. So, we're going to be running 4 copies of the original Cocytus as our initial ride target, and because once we get enough grade 3s into the Soul via rewriting, we should be able to fulfill the full board condition of its second skill. Only 2 copies of Cocytus Reverse for the re-ride, re-attack, since, as stated before, Granblue does not suffer from any lack of selective mill and it activates in the drop. In order to play towards the heavy cost of a full field as well as 4 cards from hand for the re-ride, we look towards cards that have a very cheap reanimation effect. I'm looking at cards like Beatrice, Negro Lazy, and Dancing Cutlass here. Beatrice generates another body for Soul Blast, Negro Lazy generates another body for free, and in the drop zone, Dancing Cutlass can reanimate itself. Hopefully between these cards and the base Cocytus' Act skill, we'll always able to at least have that full board that we need. Now, because Cocytus Reverse is able to unlock some rear guards based on how many grade 3s we got in Soul, we also want some rear guard attackers to supplement that. Obviously, a familiar name in Skull Dragon comes to mind. We run 2 copies since Granblue has no shortage of selective mill. We can definitely find it in the drop zone. For our tech slots, I've opted into an interesting 2-2-2 split in our grade 2 lineup. 2 Jesse the Ghosty, 2 Colombard, and 2 Greedshade. Jesse is able to provide us with countercharge after it attacks. It's a good target to plop in the front row when we need countercharge, and Colombard and Greedshade is the guaranteed ride enabling package. But also because Greedshade lets us handfix, we can discard Cocytus Reverse to get it into the drop zone, and Colombard can selectively mill from the deck and also acts as a cheap reanimation. In our grade 1 line, we run 4 copies of Negrabone. Negrabone is just a staple in almost all Granblue decks, acting as the 5th to 8th copy of all the cards that we're looking for. 4 copies of Sea Strolling Banshee for said selective mill, but also for her rearguard effect to mill our deck even further, hopefully reaching that 10 drop zone by grade 3. Finally, we run 4 copies of Dancing Cutlass. As stated before, Cutlass is just a good card to reanimate itself and provide a venue of a rearguard to lock for Cocytus Reverse, but it also provides countercharge, a resource that many clans in the V format have only ever dreamed of. Finally, with our last slot, we run 1 copy of King Tentacle. Because we aren't a Force deck, we don't have the option of having a restanding Force 2 Vanguard. So, to make the Cocytus Reverse double attack any semblance of frightening, our opponent has to already be at high damage. So we're gonna run a singleton copy of King Tentacle for early game aggro. Sea Strolling Banshee as well as Colombard being able to selectively mill him out, as well as other venues of RNG mill, could get us that early aggro that we need. Let's go into the triggers. It's a very standard. We're just going to go with the true and tried 8 crit, 4 draw sentinels, and the grade 3 heal guardians. The crits are there to make the Cocytus Reverse attack potentially scary since Cocytus Reverse doesn't have a base crit compared to the original version. The draws are there because, discard 4. And the heals are there because we're going to be playing for that 6 damage heal a lot. Now, what else can we opt into if this list doesn't fit your fancy? First thing to look at is ratios. Cocytus Reverse might be hot dog water, but Cocytus himself is pretty hot. We might focus more on the rewriting of Cocytus to get more grade 3s into Soul, and thus to always have a full board once we get 2 grade 3s in Soul. While Beatrice called Negrolazy called Jesse, Beatrice calls 1 more and so does Negrolazy. Respecting that line of play, maybe we max out on Colombards and or Greedshades for their ability to find more Cocytus from the deck. Maybe we really like the fact that original Cocytus is buffed to gain 20k and a crit isn't restricted to not riding this turn or having your opponent at grade 3 or more, and we really want to juice our opponent by hitting them hard on that first ride. We can definitely look towards Skeleton Navigator for that quick mill 5 in the early game. Lastly, we can play towards Cocytus Reverse's second effect to retire 3 rearguards and gain power for the battle, and run Thin Mist Banshee as sacking her off for Cocytus Reverse's effect will get us a card back in hand as well. To conclude, no. Cocytus Reverse is never going to see the light of day known as meta relevance in the V Premium format, less for huge banlist changes. Yes, Cocytus Reverse does introduce a multi-Vanguard attack ideology that Night Rose and Beatrice do not. I think that this will just be another one of those Timmy decks that we see from Clan Collection, and though I'm nonplussed about it, I'm sure some people will enjoy labbing how to make him work since Granblue does have a very expansive card pool. In any case, this has been it from me for this episode of Clan Collection Cores. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more content like this, like the video, as it helps motivate us to keep the gears going, and leave a comment down below. Every little bit helps the channel. This has been Toku from the YellowCard Vanguard channel. Toku out.